2.2 billion persons around the world are visually impaired. Nearly half of these visual impairments could have been prevented. Experts want people to be more aware of their eye health because of the ripple effects on improving education, good economic, and improved health outcomes. Good evening. Welcome to Soundhealth on Lagos Television. I am Olasumbo Modupe. The conversation begins after this break. Please stay tuned.
Love Your Eyes is about being aware of and maintaining your own eye health. Start with these 4 P's. Prevent sight loss by adopting a healthy lifestyle. Protect your eyes from sunlight, accidents, and prolonged exposure to screens. Preserve your vision with regular eye examinations, and prioritize your eye health and that of your family and community. Nearly everyone on the planet will experience an eye health issue in their lifetime, and more than 1 billion people worldwide do not have access to eye care services. By 2050, half the world's population will be short-sighted. By strengthening health systems worldwide, we can reach those in need, because everyone counts. Love your eyes today and book an eye exam.
The program is still Soundhealth on Lagos Television. I am Olasumbo Modupe. Joining us via Zoom this evening is Dr. Gloria Okoekhian, Chairperson, Nigerian Optometric Association, Lagos State Chapter. Good evening, Dr. Okoekhian.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
All right, Dr. Okoekhian. Over 2.2 billion persons are visually impaired around the world. What are some of the most commonest eye disorder reported around the world?
Thank you. Yeah, like you rightly said, there are so many kind of disorder that can impair vision. And the common ones, we have refractive errors, cataracts, glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy. And that is one of the reasons why the International Agency for Prevention of Blindness is celebrating this World Sight Day to raise awareness on eye care and how to prevent avoidable blindness. In other words, how to prevent the impairment or reduce vision from these disorders that I just mentioned. Because to a great extent, a good number of these things can be avoided and prevented and vision kept intact if only people are aware and do the needful on time. We know that in Nigeria currently, research has shown that over 4 million adults, 40 years and above, have moderate to severe visual impairments. In other words, 4 out of every 100 adults above the age of 40 suffer moderate to severe vision problems, which can be avoided and taken care of if they are aware and they do the needful. Doing the needful now entails visiting your eye doctor to have your eyes examined properly and given the right medication or treatment as the case may be.
All right, Dr. Okoekhian, before we look at preventive tips now, what causes these disorder in people? Could it be lifestyle, genetics?
Now, the disorders of the eye can either be as a result of a disease condition or a refractive condition. For refractive condition, we are talking of short-sightedness, long-sightedness, astigmatism, and a host of all. For this refractive condition, long-sightedness and short-sightedness, they are not related to any disease condition. Short-sightedness in itself, in most cases, is hereditary. It runs in family history. But long-sightedness has to do with a structural defect of the eye, in most cases. But in some cases, trauma can cause it. Then you have some children that are born with it. Glaucoma doesn't have a known cause, but we know the risk factors that predisposes us to it, out of which family history is one of them. Age is also another factor. The black race is a factor. High short-sightedness, other diseases like diabetes and hypertension can also lead to development of glaucoma. Diabetes as a disease itself can also cause eye problem, serious eye problem for persons who are diabetic and not well managed, especially those who are diabetic for 10 years and above. They can have severe visual impairments that can affect their day-to-day activities.
Okay, in your response earlier, you pointed out that if these disorders are prevented early enough, let's look at the younger ones now. People between the ages of 5, 10, 10 to 15 years. Oftentimes, when they are in school, you hear them, I can't see properly when I sit at the back. When should people be allowed to access health care? Is it just at age 10 or 15? Are there specific age you should see an optometrist?
Ideally, eye checks should start from the age of 6 months. Every baby at 6 months should have the first eye examination. However, children going to school should have their eyes examined at preschool age of 3 years. That's the first time a child, aside the first eye examination that is done at early infancy. At preschool age of 3 years, every child is expected to have his or her eyes examined, because it's at that point that we first discover the visual capacity of that child. However, like you rightly mentioned, a good number of children have different issues, but we face the challenge of parents not willing to, parents just have this orientation that a child is too young. So they have this preconceived notion that they don't want their child to use glasses, or they don't want to come to terms with the reality that there is a defect. So parents don't take the responsibility to have the children's eyes examined before they commence school. But it is one of the campaigns we are running to parents, and we're also running with the schools to ensure that every child at preschool age have his or her eyes examined the first time, and then this screening is done annually to be able to assess how well the child sees, both at far and at near, because adequate vision for that child will contribute 80% to the child's academic performance. So it is very important that every child at preschool age of 3 years should have his or her eyes first examined and then done consequently, as the school, based on the arrangement of the school or the awareness of the parents.
Okay, still on lifestyle now, we have some persons exposed to sunlight, chemicals, phones, devices that are, injurious to health, to the height, so to say. Now, how do you think this set of people can cope to prevent eye disorder?
Interesting. The truth is, this exposure vary from person to person based on their work, like you rightly mentioned, lifestyle. So it's either their work or where they school or what they do for a living. However, for those who work, we know that they are exposed to the digital devices, out of which we emit light that can affect the eyes. So for such persons, the expectation is that they have their eyes examined and then they are given recommendation, prescriptive lenses that will come with coating, the anti-blue coating that will help protect their eyes from the blue light of the digital devices. However, for those who are engaged in field work, that their eyes are now exposed to sunlight and probably fumes, it is advisable that they have a shield. They have a shield over their eyes. For example, welders, those who do welding jobs, it's expected that they have their safety goggles on at every point in time to protect their eyes from those little chips of iron that can get into their eyes and probably cause some damage. But for those who are exposed to sun rays and probably work with chemicals, they can have either a pair of sunglasses, or the safety goggles will also act in place to preserve their eyes from any damage that may come from these exposures.
But how aware are people about their eye, especially eye health now?
Well, to be honest, we know that the awareness is increasing, but there is still a lot more to be done. And that is one of the reasons why we are celebrating this day every second Thursday in October, every year, all over the world. The essence is to raise awareness on eye care. Because the truth is, a lot of people have many misconceptions about the eye, where some people believe that there are no cures to eye problem. They just think it's an eye problem, it's there. There are some people who don't see well at far, and they don't know that just with a pair of glasses, their vision will be enhanced. There are some people who cannot read, and they don't see it as a problem. They really don't know that if you visit an eye doctor, there is a pair of glasses that you can get that will enhance your vision and everything will be clear. However, we are still bent on raising this awareness by conscious efforts. We keep making deliberate efforts to educate the masses and to tell them about eye care. There are many misconceptions. Some people believe that eye care can be spiritual. Some people tell you that it's an attack. Meanwhile, these are simple problems that if you go to your eye doctor early enough, can be addressed and treated accordingly. So as much as possible, as much as we can, we are engaging as many people as possible to either through the school, the communities, the local government, to educate people anywhere, whichever way we find ourselves. Like this World Sight Day gives us a very good opportunity to do that. That is why we're doing both media, TV, radio programs to send the message out across. But across board, all over the nation, we have different groups. We have different associations, stakeholders in eye care industry, carrying out different programs here and there, both in their clinics and communities, to carry out vision screening, give eye health talk, to educate people and increase awareness to eye care.
All right, are there ripple effects for not meeting the world's eye care needs now?
Of course, there are, because we know that our sight is important. Sight is essential to all that we do. It's key to our performance, to our productivity, to our well-being. So we have a whole lot of issues that comes from inadequate vision or impaired vision. When there is visual impairment, people cannot perform with optimal capacity. So definitely the outcome, the output will be low. The same way, even when children have impaired vision, their performance in school is also reduced. It's not as at par with their mates whose vision is adequate. So as much as possible, we're trying to put the message out across that for your entire well-being and productivity and optimal performance, it's important that we have adequate and comfortable vision. The ripple effect cuts across board, really, but the most we can do is to see how we keep educating people on the need to have their eyes checked, first of all, so that they will know exactly what the problem is and what can be done, because that's actually the beginning of it. Until we have an eye exam and we make adequate recommendation, We really cannot stem the ripple effect. It will continue, but we know that the ripple effect is there. Nevertheless, we continue to do our bit to see how we can empower both the school children, the workers, and all others who need their side for performance and productivity.
Okay, Dr. Okoekhian, before I let you go now, can you please share with us tips to prevent avoidable blindness with our viewers?
Well, there are quite a lot of things that are expected, simple things that we can do to prevent avoidable blindness. And the first one we try to encourage people is to have your eyes checked regularly. Loving your eyes starts with an eye examination, because it's from that eye examination that we can really tell what the problem is. If there are issues that can hinder your sight, that can reduce your vision, those issues can be addressed in good time. Another thing we encourage people to do is to eat well. Eat a balanced diet, rich in fruits and vegetables, that will give your eyes or your body the nutrients it needs to stay healthy. It's also important that people engage in regular exercises, which will help to prevent or control some diseases like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, which also poses risk, and can lead to development of severe eye problems. Then maintaining body weight, maintaining a healthy weight is very important, because being overweight or obese can predispose one to developing diabetes, which invariably can affect the eyes. But the bottom line is, let us try as much as we can to prioritize our eye health. Let's give our eyes the priority it deserves. And a very simple recommendation we give is to just give yourself the gift, your birthday gift. Make your eye checkup a birthday gift to yourself. I mean, that would be a very beautiful gift. If every year, as you celebrate your birthday, you have an eye check, so you know the status of your eyes, and you do the needful to keep your vision intact.
All right. Or don't you think people feel eye health is so expensive to maintain, or eye care is expensive to access? Is it affordable?
Well,
how affordable is seeing an optometrist on a routine basis now?
You see, eye health being expensive is relative, because we have both the public and the private sector, of which the government hospitals are there. You have the primary eye care centers. However, the private sector, which also provides eye care services, are there at our disposal. People say it is relative. We also look at the issue of what are the other things that people spend money on. Now, the truth is, it is the value we give to our eyes that makes us see eye care as expensive. Because we spend a lot much more, on other things than the eyes. So as much as possible, what we encourage people is, your eyes are priceless. Your eyes are valuable. There is really no amount you spend on your eye that is so expensive when you consider the worth, when you consider the value of your eye. It's all a matter of preparation, planning, and taking the right steps. The first step actually is to have an eye examination, and after the eye examination, you know what else to do. People spend a lot of money on ashwabis and the likes. People spend a lot of money on gadgets, on phones, very expensive phones, of which eye care, the cost of eye care does not even measure up to 10% of that. So that's why I said it's relative. It is a matter of prioritizing our eye health and making adequate plans to take care of it the best way possible. If the private sector seems expensive to anybody, you have the public sector, which may not be as expensive. The bottom line is, where can you access your eye doctor, or where can you access eye care as much as possible? These options are there for anyone who wants to give his or her eyes adequate care.
Value and prioritize your eye health. Dr. Okoekhian, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate your expertise on the show.
Thank you very much for having me once again.
All right, I have been speaking with Dr. Gloria Okoekhian, Chairperson, Nigerian Optometric Association, Lagos State Chapter. Thank you so much for your time once again. Sound Health continues with trending health report from around the world. Please stay tuned. It is still Sound Health on Lagos Television. More to come in a moment. All right, know that depression is real. Depression is a mental health. Open up, share your problems. A problem shared is half solved. Speak to a psychologist today and you will be relieved. This is where we say thank you on today's episode of Sound Health. Prevent, protect, prioritize, and preserve your eye. They are the ones you have. You cannot have a duplicate. For comments and inquiries, please send SMS to 0035826603 or follow us on social media at LTV Social, #SoundHealth. A sound health is a sound mind. Make healthy living your choice.